with a beautiful Spanish mackerel to process. This morning spearfishing session. One of my favourite fish to clean. They're nice and easy. Beautiful work. First off, we'll just give it a good old rinse. Make sure all the slime and sand and anything like that's off it before we cut into the flesh. You never ever want to put fresh water, or any water for that matter, onto your fish fillets once you've cut into it. But while it's whole like this, no problems at all. A little bit of a storm chasing us down, so let's see if we can get this process before that happens. Alrighty. Nice sharp knife, stout sharp knife. Pectoral fin, cut in behind the pectoral fin, all the way through to the head. Then we get in next to the dorsal fin, parallel. Just gently run your knife along, pretty much down to the spine or close to it. But we're trying to make sure it's a nice parallel cut so that we're maximising the meat, but not going wrong angle to get into the fillet on the other side. Cut down here at the tail, then here in the vent fin. Alrighty. Now we can lift that tail up. You can see that beautiful white meat of the Spanish. And it just comes away nice and easily. So this is going to be one of my sized pieces, and I can see where the spear hole is, so we're going to try and cut around that. If there is going to be any sand at all in the fish, it's going to be around that. There we have absolutely beautiful premium white meat. Got a couple of tiny bones here. Get rid of them. Alright, and into one of our vacuum sealed bags, ready for freezing. There we go. One in. Now we keep the nice and hear that noise. That's you down on the spine. Now what we want to do is slide over the top of the ribs and leave the guts intact. So I haven't gutted this fish. I like to leave the fish intact. We'll see how we go. Nice and carefully. See how we come up with that. Not too bad. That's that cut through there. And here we have the other major part of that fillet. You see up here I've left a few rib bones in. I'd normally try to leave them in the fish. It's a fine balance, trying not to leave any meat on the ribs and not expose all the insides. So just slip in the knife like this, like so. Whooshka. Okay, now the only bones that we've got left to deal with are these pin bones up here, and the rest of the fillet is boneless. So what we'll do, run the knife. Now Spanish mackerel has got a bloodline down the middle of that, and it's a red meat, and that's quite fishy and quite strong, and also this is the sort of thing that'll make your fish spoil over time. So we'll try to remove a lot of that while we're taking the pin bones out. Down we go, all the way past the pin bones. We're also removing that bit of a bloodline as well. Beautiful fish to process, Spanish mackerel. There's one bit. Here is the other bit. There are no serious scales on a Spanish mackerel, so you don't need to worry about scaling a fish like this. It's one of the most easy, pleasant fish to process that there is. So this is the strip we're left with, the pin bones. Down here where we don't have the bones, discard that. Be some little treats for the dogs. They love their Spanish mackerel. Alrighty, so we've got this bit here where the spear has gone through. We're going to cut that. You can see this mark here. This is where, if you're going to get any sand or anything like that, so what we'll do, just cut that bit of fish off. Cut that down there so we know we're only dealing with clean meat. Now the dogs are not fussy about sand in their food at all, so they can get those bits to eat. And these little bits are going to be part of my smoked Spanish, which we're going to do a little bit later on. Alrighty, so to bag these up, to get them to the right size, I'm going to cut some medallions off this that I'm going to smoke, and then I'll be left with a nice bit of loin that'll fit nicely into the cryovac bag. So these, I'm cutting them about 20 to 25 mil. Perfect for the smoker. You don't want them too thin because they'll fall over in the smoker, and you don't want them too thick because they won't cook right through. So take these premium pieces off. I don't get rained on by the thunderstorm in a second. Amazing amount of rain this year, 1.2 metres of rain in 3 months. Our annual rainfall is about 1.6 metres, so we've had a lot in 3 months. Alrighty. So that's pretty much perfect, I'd say. Now we're going to take some good smoking size pieces off this bit. Put them aside, one more bit. Alrighty, into another cryovac bag, and into the bag we go. Turn that around. You find it easier if you have the thicker side of the fillet down in the cryovac bag and the thinner side facing up. So there we go, that's the start. We've got the month and the year. I don't need to mark it Spanish because I've got the skin on it still and I can tell that's Spanish mackerel. I'm looking at it. Alright, over we go. Now we can carefully give the table a little bit of a hose, being careful not to touch the nice pieces that are going to go in the smoker. Get any blood or any guts off the table. Right, now we do the same thing in reverse on the other side of the Spanish. In the pectoral fin, up to the head, in at the dorsal fin, down to the spine, cut carefully along. Nice sharp knife to doing this, nice stout sharp knife. Be careful when you're cutting Spanish, they're quite soft, and if you have your hand in the way of where the knife is going, it's quite easy to cut yourself. So be aware of that. We'll go all the way down to the tail, right there. Cut back towards that vent fin. Now we can lift that little flap up of the fillet. Get the knife and just run up and down. It's only got to just go over the spine, so we just go up and down a little bit, nice and gently, so we maximise the amount of meat. Cut it through there. Now we have another beautiful piece of Spanish mackerel. This is all boneless. And this bit can go in the cryovac bag with our other bit. So there we have the two tail pieces, perfect size, plenty of room at the top of the bag so we can get a nice seal on the cryovac. Alrighty. Same thing in reverse, so we've run down to the spine. I'm going to cut over the rib cage, close as possible, preferably without going through it. So we don't want to put any guts on the fish if we can help it. There we go, that's not too bad a job. Alrighty, another premium piece of Spanish mackerel. Only a couple of rib bones up this end, and we'll take them out. Alright, leaves us with pin bones. I'll put this aside for the moment. Leaves us with the pin bones again to get out. I like to start from the pin bones and work my way down. We'll do that cut all the way through the loin. This is the beauty about having a wooden table. You can let your knife go right down to the timber on the Spanish mackerel. Cut through the skin. There's one bit. There we have the other bit. There you go. Beautiful Spanish mackerel. That's how you fillet it and process it.